integration that I will be building. So that's kind of Notion integration for WAPI. I think what you have seen last time is that there is a complex task functionality, but I think one of the frustrations, and a quite reasonable one, is that users don't always get all the details that they need in one place. In other words, WhatsApp is not always the best tool for storing tasks and so on. So what I've decided to do instead is look at the different options that we have in terms of putting it somewhere else. And obviously, while the final goal is to build a website, for now, I think it's just best to build out something in Notion, as that's kind of a popular tool that everyone's familiar with. And in the process, I think I came up with a few kind of gotchas that were not that obvious. So I just wanted to kind of quickly go over it. The first thing is that I think there's a few tutorials that help you show how to, you can create an integration. I found this tutorial to be actually quite good. But what it doesn't always tell you is that obviously you need to create your own integration. That could look something like this. You go to Notion, Profile Integrations, and it kind of gives you this page. You create, and copy the internal key. And then the next thing you need to do is you need to share, click the sort of integration connection and kind of add this new integration here. So this will now be available. You can see that here. And then you need to copy the link. And in that link, it will give you the document ID. So that's how you can, and just to make that super clear, so document ID is right after notion.so. So that's a few kind of gotchas. So that's what you'll need to essentially make the Notion work. But one thing I didn't realize is that actually when you first get, if you just have an empty document, even getting this back is good. I expected some metadata to be there, but just getting something that looks like this when printed is good. What's bad is when you get a API response error like this. So this is working. Once I've added some text into it, even though like it's like test, there a lot more metadata appeared after the fact. So that became pretty obvious. So right now we're just going to be quickly syncing the tasks initially manually, just to make sure that it's populated correctly. So we can do that now, and then we'll see where this goes. So I have this sync tasks to Notion, and let's see that already the cursor helpfully prepared for me. So I'm going to be running that off screen. And so far, it's not really that much. So let's see. Okay, so it's connecting to the database. That's good. But it hasn't really given me much in the ways of and then eventually, once this is working in a stable way, I usually start with a script, and then once the script is working, I can move that over to modules. So right now it's just a script. So let's see what's going on here. So right now we would probably want to know also how many tasks found. Okay, so I think this sounds like a good start because right now I'm running something and I'm not really getting much in the ways of response. Okay, we're skipping this altogether, so that's not ideal. I would assume that this runs okay. So in that case, let me just maybe run this like so. And this way we'll get a debugger in the console, which is a helpful tool. Okay. So what's happening here is incorrect schema. So one of the interesting challenges that we get obviously is the fact that the schema itself is not running as expected. So that just means the SQL database. And it's kind of missing some schema definition. So I think and I try to keep the schema definitions in one of those scripts. So that it works okay, but obviously it's always best to have some sort of database viewer. I think that's one of those things that understandably the LLM doesn't know about, so it's going to make these types of mistakes. That's why I try to keep scripts around that either basically is the database module, so that more or less creates the So yeah, that's why I try to keep it essentially in a separate folder so that there's a database definition essentially file that is helpful for that reason. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Okay. I just want to take a look at tasks. Actions. Okay, so I found tasks. That's a good sign, and it's even the correct number. And now I guess it's the process of being populated. So let's see if that works. And again, all I did is essentially to ask it to create a script that takes a database and sends it to Notion. And then, yeah, that's so far only light debugging. So right now it's found the tasks, but it's unclear whether it's doing anything after that. So and it's creating a list. Okay. And returns them. That's fine. It's a little strange why that takes so long, because this should just be a local operation. Might be stuck on something. Okay, let me put a breakpoint here, because I actually didn't even get to this logger message. I mean, I don't know if it's necessary to log it, but because I think sometimes it goes a little overzealous, and I find okay, tasks seems pretty full. So let's see, first of all, if anything has changed here. It doesn't seem like anything's changed here. Okay. So an interesting problem here is that whenever this syncs tasks to Notion, um, okay. So we'll have to modify slightly this. So what it wants is a new property. We can call it status. We can add a new property which is called phone number. We can add a new property that's called, I mean, this one we'll just rename to task ID. And then we'll rename this one to created at. So we got the error basically that these are missing. So let's see what happens if we were to rerun this, which is actually a better sign, because then it means like we're just making some amount of progress. Okay, so just for your guys' benefit, this is something that this is the error that we got. So I guess just moving back here to this. So status is supposed to be lowercase. I mean, that I guess that's the nature of the complaint. Created at is supposed to be type rich text. It's text, which is an interesting challenge. Phone number is not a property that exists. Okay, phone number, then we got that. Then we get created at, okay. Okay, status is not a property that exists. So we have status are lowercase and status uppercase. Very strange. And created at is supposed to be rich text. We'll deal with that one later. Let's see if that. Hmm. And created at. Okay, let's see what happens with this one. So we're defining things. Um, what if we just made it text? And what if we just made phone status to be also text? Let's see what happens. I think maybe this is from the perspective of um, maybe this is from the perspective. What if we did it like this? Status and created that is supposed to be rich text. Okay, I mean, let's see what happens now. And maybe for expediency, let's just do at the breakpoint here so that we can always put continue instead. Okay. All right. Okay. So I get this error. That's also why it's best to start off with a one-off script so that you can first validate that it works and then you can set it up to be automatic. I also investigated using sort of connection aggregator, but in the end that wasn't super useful. So if you guys have any thoughts on what sort of connection aggregators you guys like or I'd recommend or what the use cases are, I'd be curious to hear it. Okay, let's see. Let's accept these changes and then we can run this script again. I like the key changes. I think that wasn't here before so much, but I think it's a good change because it quickly lets me at a glance understand what's going on. Okay, I don't. Hmm. So, okay, we didn't get an error, but we also didn't get any. So I'm assuming the weird thing is we don't even get the numbers of things that were supposed to be synced or anything. We just get. Okay, well, kind of get back to the same thing. So, um, what happens if I do this? Um, I mean, I need to just run this again, but so we kind of oscillating between those two errors, which is to be expected. It sometimes happens, especially if it's an integration I've never worked with. Okay, so we're now back to this. Did it explain? Okay, I guess we can go back to Google. Um, Even in the days of LLMs, that's sometimes a problem. Um, I haven't been to Stack Overflow in a long time. But database ID. I don't know why I clicked that. That seems to be on query, and then this is on ID type, relation, text type. I mean, this looks fairly similar. I don't understand why this happens on create. Fix one. It's fairly confusing error. Okay, well, sometimes I wanted to give O1 a try. So let's see what happens. I'm trying this pattern where I kind of deal with the LLM as I would with an intelligent coworker, so I'm not sure. I say probably, in the hopes that it will override it, but I'm not sure if that works, if that pattern makes sense. So let me know if you guys have you found this useful, or this pattern doesn't work, or hasn't been proven to work, or whatever thoughts or feedback. I'm also curious. Hmm. Okay. All right. But interestingly, it didn't create any changes, right? Doesn't seem like it. It's interesting. It's an interesting problem. So I guess we'll have to read it. Um, okay, so let's try to making it a bit bigger, just so that I don't have anything too crazy. Okay, all right, let's see. Okay, that's fine. Okay, what if I click apply to Notion? It really loves that old way of doing things, though. That's fine, we can remove that. But it hasn't really impacted the problem. Okay, I think this will um, take maybe some understanding of the API. So I will maybe pause here and get back to you guys once I've discovered what the notion is. I think both of the LLMs are stuck here a little bit. All right. Thank you.
I wanted to follow up on the live stream yesterday where we had some issues with some of the data types, and I said I will look at it offline. And essentially, I think the solution ended up being kind of getting the data types from Notion directly, so that I put a breakpoint here, and then I was able to basically print out the data types, and then simply ask the AI to update the fields appropriately so that their data types is matching. I think there was a little bit of back and forth, but now at the end of the day, it's working. So, for example, now we can do a quick demo. So here we have a Notion page that's been shared. I think equally here we can have a series of tasks. So these are the incomplete tasks that we have in a particular case. And then we can simply sync the tasks from our console. And then these tasks will then be automatically synced into Notion when we run that script. So it's a pretty simple work where essentially one by one these will then be populated. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick demo. Hope you enjoyed this quick run through what how Notion might be used, and soon enough this functionality will be available in WAPI as a whole. So thank you guys.